I am going to discuss a bit about mandibular central incisors today. Specific learning objectives of my class includes students should be able to understand the morphology of permanent mandibular central incisor. Students should be able to differentiate between maxillary and mandibular incisors, and students should be able to differentiate between mandibular central and lateral incisors. Content of my class includes introduction and different aspects of mandibular central incisor, that is labial, palatal, mesial, distal and the incisal aspect, and developmental anomaly involving the mandibular central incisor. But today I am going to discuss about the introduction and labial, lingual and the mesial aspect of mandibular central incisor. So, coming to the introduction to the mandibular central incisor, they are 4 in number which are located in the mandible, and both mandibular central and lateral incisor look almost similar in morphology. There are very few differences which we can make out by learning the mandibular central and lateral incisors. And the importance of having mandibular central incisors in the mandible is it helps in certain functions like cutting food, aesthetics, for speech, and also helps the mandible properly to be placed with the help of the maxillary teeth. And this right side image shows the different measurements of the mandibular central incisors, that is the height of the crown, which is 9.5 millimeter, and the height of the root 12.5 millimeter, and mesodistal width of the mandibular central incisor at cervical 1/3 is 3.5 millimeters, and mesodistal width at the crest of curvature of mandibular central incisor is 5 millimeters. Same way, when we weave the tooth from mesial or distal aspects, it will show different measurements that I am going to discuss in the upcoming slides. So, this is a chronology table of mandibular central incisor. Here we could see that first evidence of calcification takes place between 3 to 4 months, and enamel completed will be taking place between 4 to 5 years. Eruption occurs between 6 to 7 years, and root completion around 9 years. So, these are the different measurement parameters for the mandibular central incisors, where we could see that the cervical incisor length of the crown is 9.5 millimeters, length of the root is 12.5 millimeters, mesodistal diameter of the crown is 5 millimeters, and mesodistal diameter of crown at the cervical 1/3 is 3.5. Labio or buccolingual diameter of the crown is 6 millimeters. The same at cervical 1/3 is 5.3 millimeters, and curvature of the cervical line mesially located 3 millimeters and distally it is located 2 millimeters. Next, coming to the labial aspect of the mandibular central incisor. So, from this aspect, the shape of the crown looks like a rectangular in shape, and we could see that the mandibular central incisor is bilaterally symmetrical. That means, if we divide the mandibular central incisor with the imaginary central line, if we draw or if we mark it with a dotted line, we could see that the right and the left half of the mandibular central incisors are equal. So, that means it is bilaterally symmetrical. Next, there are different outlines which we could appreciate from this aspect. One is the mesial outline and another is the distal outline. The mesial half shows the mesial outline and distal half of the tooth shows the distal outline. So, these two outlines looks relatively straight and they taper as it reaches the cervical 1/3 of the crown. Next, coming to the contact areas. So, the mesial and distal contact areas are almost at equal level, means at same level, that is located at the incisal 1/3 of the tooth. at the incisal 1/3 of the tooth. So, the contact area is a point where the mandibular central incisor is going to come in contact with the mandibular lateral incisor surface. Next, coming to the incisal edge, we could see that this is a incisal edge which is straight and which is perpendicular to this long axis of the tooth. The imaginary dotted line what I have drawn now, this incisal edge is perpendicular to the long axis of the tooth, and both mesio-incisal and disto-incisal line angles are sharp. That means the point where the mesial and the incisal surfaces meets make an angle, and distal and incisal surfaces meets an angle. So, this is called as a line angle. So, mesio-incisal and disto-incisal line angles are sharp. And coming to the cervical outline, it is convex, and convexity of the cervical outline is facing towards the root. And if we see the labial if we see the labial surface, it is almost smooth and it is more straight in the incisal and the middle 1/3 and convex in the cervical 1/3. And the root of the tooth from this aspect looks conical and which tapers at the apical 1/3, and there will be slight distal tilt. If we see this natural tooth, we could see that if we draw a perpendicular line, the root surface is slightly distally tilted. If we draw a perpendicular line with a pencil and mark it, we could see that the root is distally tilted. So, this indicates the distal tilt of the root. Next is the lingual aspect. So, coming to the lingual aspect of mandibular central incisor, we could see that the crown is trapezoidal in shape, the geometrical shape of the crown is trapezoidal in shape, and it is having certain landmarks on lingual aspect of the crown. That is, the most convex part is called the cingulum, okay, and the concavity part is called the lingual fossa. And this concavity part is bordered right side by the mesial marginal ridge and left side by the distal marginal ridge, and coronally by the incisal edge and apically by the cingulum. So, the lingual fossa is shallow, it is not deep. The same thing we can appreciate in a natural teeth. This part is the lingual fossa, which takes a V shape, geometric shape V shape, and then which is bordered right side by the mesial marginal ridge and left side by the distal marginal ridge, apically by the cingulum and coronally by the incisal edge. Next, coming to the mesial aspect. So, from the mesial aspect, what we could appreciate? We could appreciate that we could see a convex part of the labial side and concave and convex part of the lingual side of the crown. And this convex part is seen, the maximum convexity seen at the cervical 1/3 of the tooth. Cervical 1/3 of the tooth shows the maximum convexity on the labial aspect, that is called as crest of curvature. And when we see the lingual half of the crown, we could see that there is a lingual fossa which makes a concavity of the tooth, and a cingulum marks as a convex part of the mandibular central incisor. So, compared to the lingual half, the labial half of the tooth shows the more convexity. So, coming to the incisal edge, this is a incisal ridge, and as and when it joins both labial and lingual outlines, it makes an incisal edge. So, the incisal edge is located lingually to the midline of the tooth. For example, if we draw an imaginary midline, to that imaginary midline, this incisal edge is located more towards lingually, and cervical line shows a deep curvature towards the mesial aspect, and mesial surface is smooth and flat except for slight convexity at incisal 1/3 where contact area is located. Here the contact area is there, so slight convexity is seen here, and root tapers from the middle 1/3 to located to the midline. Thank you. These are the references.